Welcome to the Be Magnetic podcast. I'm your host Tara, energetic strategist, psychic medium, and your guide to life and business that feels like a full body fuck yes. If you're ready to move beyond success and step into true peace, pleasure, and prosperity, this podcast is for you. Get ready for unfiltered stories, mindset shifts, and real strategies that will empower you to live and lead with your heart. Together, we'll unlock your highest potential, expand deeply rooted abundance, and shift into soul-led success without sacrificing your authenticity, joy, peace, or freedom. So take a moment, settle in, feel the energy shift, and let's dive into the magic that awaits. Hello, and welcome back to the Be Magnetic podcast. I'm honestly so excited for today's episode. We're going to do the July pick a card reading and an energetic forecast. I'm so excited and also kind of in disbelief that it is already July, like we're starting the second half of this year. And I feel like for a lot of us, it's kind of this time to reset and reevaluate. The halfway point in a year is such a powerful time for us to really reevaluate and just, check back in with the vision that we set 6 months ago and see, is it still aligned with where I want to go today? Is it still aligned with who I am today, right? Because you have changed over the last 6 months, and probably the circumstances of your life have also changed over the last 6 months. So it is a powerful time to just tune back in and see if the path that you're going down is still the path that you want to go down moving forward, or whether there's maybe things that you want to adjust or things that need realignment, and also to kind of celebrate the stuff that you've already achieved, that stuff that already manifested over the last 6 months, but also holding space for obviously the things that haven't come through yet and that are needing some more time and dedication to actually manifest into our reality. So that being said, just like a little, reminder that it's always good to reconnect with your vision and not be afraid to stretch something out or to shift something or to say goodbye to a vision that you held. It is okay because you're changing, and if you realize there's things on your vision board or things that you've been working towards the last 6 months that you don't want anymore, that's fine. Let them go. You're allowed to do that. It doesn't mean anything about you, about your path. It doesn't mean you're failing. It's just maybe you were never really supposed to want this, or you never really wanted it, just maybe for a short period of time. And now you've realized, you've learned, you've gotten what you needed to get out of this experience, out of wanting to pursue that thing. And so now you don't need the actual thing anymore because you have learned what you needed to learn. Like the thing has served its purpose so far. So that being said, let's dive into the energy of July. As always, we are going to firstly tap into the numerology of July, and then we're going to see what the collective theme of the month is, and then we do the pick a pile style reading, and then we end it with some journaling prompts this time. So July is a number 7 month in numerology. The number 7 is all about spirituality, inner wisdom, deep connection. So for a lot of people, the 7 can feel slightly heavier because it's more of this winter kind of energy, more of this inward time. And it's like so funny because I did a reading for myself yesterday and tapping into the energy of the phase that I'm in currently, and what came up was the winter card, and that's definitely I am like super aligned with collective energy. So the personal, like my personal month energy is always collective month energy. So I am personally also in a month 7. So you might be personally in a different month, and that's fine. The collective energy still influences you, right? But it can also be worth tapping into your personal month energy. And if you want to know what your personal month energy is, subscribe to my monthly vibe check, because in there I go into depth for every single path, personal year number that you can have, and show you the personal month number that you're personally in, and give you some insights how to navigate that energy. So make sure to subscribe to that. The link to that is in the show notes as always. But yeah, collectively the energy of a 7 is influencing us this month, and so we are being really encouraged as a collective to lean deeper into our own spirituality, connect more with our faith, our beliefs, but also, romanticize life more and really make life this beautiful, ritualistic experience for ourselves. So you might notice that you feel deeper desires to meditate, or to just light candles, to be spiritual, to pick out your own cards, or to connect in whatever way feels comfortable to you with your own faith, with your own spirituality. This month also encourages us to tap into our inner wisdom. So you might notice that your intuition is heightened this month. You might notice that you're getting more of those calls, those downloads, those nudges. And so you're really being encouraged to follow them, to tap into them, to listen to them. But also when you feel like there's decisions that need to be made, or answers that are being sought, really turn to your inner wisdom for that. You have all the answers within you that you need to move forward on your path. So allow yourself to trust that. Allow yourself to trust your gut, to really listen within, instead of constantly turning externally for that validation and for that insight and that guidance. And it's also inviting us to go a little bit into introspection. So I personally have a slightly different opinion about introspection. So I do believe that introspection for the most part is holding us back. It is the reason why we are doubting ourselves, why we are overthinking, and why we are falling into negative cycles. That being said though, sometimes just tuning inward and really asking yourself the hard questions, really trying to get behind understanding why certain patterns keep appearing in your life, or why you haven't gotten to the place where you want to be, can be very helpful to just get a better understanding of what is required, and also to shift those patterns, right? So let's say instead of sitting there and contemplating and dwelling in, negative thinking and self-criticism and all of that, rather try to create better awareness, try to understand more the stuff that's going on underneath the surface, the stuff that's motivating you, that's driving you, that's causing certain things to happen or not happen, right? But also, if you feel like you've done a lot of that work in the past and you're like, maybe I'm at a point where I don't have to understand everything anymore, that's totally fine too. I get that feeling, and so you're being invited to just sit with it, right? Like I said, the 7 can feel slightly heavier because you're moving through a lot of personal stuff, and it's a very inward energy. So maybe for you guys then it is important to just sit with whatever comes up, to just let it pass by, to hold it, to regulate your nervous system more through it, so that you can actually create this space and grow with whatever you start realizing during this month. The number 7 is also obviously often associated with more spiritual depth. So it might mean that you're craving more divine connection, or more soul truth. So maybe you feel like, okay, you're not quite as purposeful as you thought you would be, or you're lacking fulfillment, and all that signs are invitations for you to dive deeper. Like I said, also intuition and inner knowing, so really deeply trust that guidance from within. Also just withdrawing a little bit from society, from everything, and really creating the time to be with yourself and to process and to integrate can be very helpful. And I know it's summer and we all want to go out and everything, and that's fine. I just think it could be very worthwhile to schedule in a couple hours every week to just tune in and like create that personal time for yourself. Also try again to uncover the deeper meaning beneath the surface of the path that you're going down and the things that you're experiencing. You also might notice that you're mentally sharper and more thoughtful and more analytic, so you might notice that you're better understanding things. So it can also be a very beneficial month to do some strategy work or just some overall like big picture thinking and planning, because you'll have this better understanding of how things go together. If you want to dive deeper into like spiritual world and the mystics and the spiritual studies and everything, this is highly supported this month. Also, I think it's required to have a certain degree of discernment and skepticism with everything that comes up this month, just because again there's like so much from the like surface from your inner world coming up that you'll feel like you need to work through. And sometimes again this can be our intuition, our soul calling, but sometimes this can also be our ego, our mind, our doubts, our fears. So we want to have discernment and really try to understand, okay, what part of me is speaking right now. You might also notice heightened emotions or just like more intense emotional experiences, which again makes space to just navigate through those. And also I feel like the reason why the 7 can sometimes feel hard is because we start to maybe isolate ourselves too much, because we have so much like coming to the surface and so much is going on that we feel often overwhelmed, and so we withdraw instead of, or like, you know, get too carried away with the negative energy that's surfacing. So just be aware of that and have your tools prepared so you can work through that and hold yourself through that. Overthinking can also be a big thing this month, so just be aware of that. Also, lack of trust and being emotionally distant. Again, these are all just protection mechanisms that we use to cope with just this like emotional load that is coming with the energy of a 7. So when we look at it from like an archetypal standpoint, I clearly think this is the energy of the Hermit, because the Hermit is very much so this energy that withdraws, that goes inward, that reflects, that contemplates, that introspects. And it can have very powerful sides to it too, because when we withdraw, when we go inward, when we create this clarity from within, we can then re-emerge after with a more solid foundation, right? Because obviously our internal world is creating our external world. So when we withdraw within and we really like clear and clean and navigate what's going on within us, then when we turn outward again, we can do so with a greater clarity, with a greater confidence and calmness and groundedness. And that is ultimately so powerful. So you're being invited this month to tap into the archetype of the Hermit, to withdraw a little bit and go inward. That being said, let's into the theme of the month. Okay, so we have the moon in Leo in the 9th house. Okay, so it's funny because the moon is also all about the internal world, like the emotions, the stuff that's hidden in the shadows, that's the secrets, the things we don't usually see, like the darker aspects of our experience. I feel like this month a lot of that is going to come to the surface, and we are being very invited to just tap into the shadows and work with our shadows and really, like bring them to the light and allow them to coexist while we are having this more beautiful experience during the summertime. So Leo is all about confidence and stepping into your power, shining your light. And so I do feel like this month while for some it might feel heavy, it's still very like, because you're gonna face those shadows, you're gonna face the stuff that's gonna come to the surface, the secrets and the emotional stuff that's going to come up. You've got to face this with confidence, and it's going to allow you eventually to step into your power and to shine your light more and to move forward as a better leader with more strength, with more power, with more confidence, with more certainty, because you've been waking through the shadows, right? The moon can also, though, indicate, again, intuition and magic and secrets and mysteries, because obviously when the moon is out and when the light has been fading away, and so there is not so many distractions, we can actually like really focus clearly, and we can see things that we have maybe not seen before because our other senses are heightened, right? You know that when you close your eyes, basically, you notice that you all of a sudden hear more clearly, or you smell more clearly, because you are no longer so distracted by what you see. And so the ninth house is all about travel and expansion, and I feel like that while like you're working through the shadows, you're also going to be able to like discover miracles and discover mysteries and like insights and solutions that gonna help you expand, that gonna bring more of that personal development to you, more of that expansion and that transformation. So that is the theme of the month. Let's dive into the personal forecast, the bigger pile reading. So I've got 3 pathways laid out for you. Again, as always, just use your intuition. The first insight, the first nudge that you've got to pick the path, you can either tune into the number 1, 2, 3, or you tune into the color that I have attached to every path and see what resonates most with you. There's going to be one path that is going to call to you a bit more, and then you can use the timestamps below to just jump to the path and listen to that, and then make sure to come back at the end because we're going to dive into some journaling prompts to help you integrate all of that. So pathway number 1 is yellow, pathway number 2 is green, and pathway number 3 is purple. So we have yellow, green, and purple. I'm going to give you some time to just pick that path, and then I see you right there for my path 1 people. So let's dive into your personal business forecast for the month of July, and let's see what Spirit has to say to you in terms of what this month holds and what you're being invited to. Okay, so I feel like the first card that we've got come through is a new moon in Libra, a new cycle begins. So I feel like that for my path 1 guys, it's going to be a really beautiful fresh start that starts a lot with, or that results out of you really leaning into that, you know, darker side and allowing those shadows to come to the forefront and, you know, work through them with confidence. And you're gonna, you know, get out of this. What's awaiting you on the other side is just this new beginning, this new, like, beautiful perspective on life, this new kind of rose-colored glasses that are making you feel like so madly in love with life and like so hopeful and so faithful and so just, yeah, like turned on by life. I feel like that's kind of generally what's awaiting you at the end, like, or on the other side of the difficult things that might come up this month. And then we also have conclusions are within reach, the full moon eclipse. So there's definitely going to be answer. So I feel like some of you might have questions rather or regarding your personal life or regarding your business, and maybe there's some decisions that need to be made, and Spirit wants you to know that there is conclusions within reach, or maybe you've been waiting for something to happen. Just know that it is on its way. It is almost here, it's coming, is within reach. There's just, you might just need to work a little bit more through some of these insecurities and the doubts and the fears, that it might not be coming or that it might not happen, and then just really trust that once it's here, it'll completely start a new chapter, a new cycle, a new, more confident, more like powerful, strong version of whatever you're experiencing right now, right? On the other side of this is like so much freedom, so much joy, so much expansion waiting for you. And then we also have the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is all talking about how we feel a certain way, but then the reality, if we look at it objectively, like from a different perspective, it's entirely different. So you might feel like something is blocking you, something is not in alignment, or you're somehow stuck or struggling, or again, like it's not happening, or like the world is against you in a way. But where you feel tight and where you feel stuck, you're actually not stuck, right? It's just you're so focused on this one way, on this one perspective, that you don't see that, you know, in a different light, you're actually so free. Like you could just stand up basically, and walk away, and you are not like chained to anything. The Eight of Swords really invites you to take on a different perspective, to look at it from a different light, and kind of like look at the polarities there, like, you know, the moon and the sun, like the day and night. Look at where you are and how what you're experiencing is just a subjective experience that is very real for you. But if you just change a tiny bit the angle from which you look at the situation at, your entire situation is going to change. We also have the Five of Swords. So yeah, again, I feel like you're really like thinking about something really hard. Like there's some decision that needs to be made, or like you want to move forward. You want to obviously get to that new romantic cycle. You want to manifest that. You want to have some sort of conclusion, result, achieve something, but it's kind of giving you a headache because you're overthinking it so much and you're worrying so much and you're obsessing so much about it, which again, like that fear, that worry, that's gonna make you feel like you're stuck and you can't get out of your chains and you can't move forward and you're kind of blindfolded. But if we just, again, you know, turn around and look at like a slightly different perspective, like walk a slightly different path, then we like notice that the worry and the fear and everything that we've had isn't actually like so real, right? And that there's, you know, different energies available to us. Ooh, and I feel like, okay, once you've been able to take off the blindfold and, you know, release some of that worry, you're gonna realize how much abundance and how much, like power you actually have over your experience of life. You're gonna feel like so much more in control of your experience of life, and like so much more in tune with what you're creating. I also feel like for a lot of you there is some sort of creation. So I don't know, we've got the Empress, and the Empress in this stack, she's like literally pregnant. So I don't know, maybe some of you who listen to this, you're trying, so that is a sign that it might happen this month. Other than that, I feel like a lot of you are just gonna go pregnant with an idea or a thought or a vision that you are holding, or just going pregnant and like nurturing more of that positive self-belief, that confidence, that inner strength, to that whatever you're aiming for is within reach. It's just around the corner, right? You're gonna nurture more of that positive strength that is helping you move forward, counteracting the doubt and the worry and the stuckness that you have maybe felt before. And there's also you're also going to find more balance within your own judgment and within your own thought processes. So again, you're gonna release more of this negative thinking and tune more into like the faith, and you're gonna like also find a balance between like working so hard and like being so attached and like so behind like finding this answer or like manifesting that thing, and rather also then reconnect with your essence and like really starting to enjoy life more, be more present, be more in the moment, and then allow that kind of internal joy, that internal freedom that you've created through just letting go of all of that. Let that be kind of the energy, the essence that's then attracting the conclusions and the resolutions and all of that. So let's see some last reminders, messages from the universe. Okay, we've got great mystery. I reveal the wisdom keys of your destiny. So I feel like that, again, you're going to discover a lot of beautiful wisdom, a lot of beautiful insights over the course of this month that are going to help you move past whatever this last thing is that you need to accomplish in order to reach the place where you want to go. This is also though an invitation for you to just focus a little bit more on like the mysteries and the magic and the unseen and the hidden and the unknown, and like know that although we do want to have it all figured out, we do want to know exactly how things happen, what the next step is, how we're gonna get there, how it's gonna unfold. Sometimes we're not supposed to know, and there is great mystery and great magic within not knowing and within just trusting and just following our internal guidance system and like, yeah, trusting the path. And then personal power. I encourage you to be the master of your destiny. So again, this for you is all about stepping into your power, like releasing the worry and the stuckness and the blindfolds and like the insecurities, and trusting that the conclusions are within reach. Like step into your power, like release the negative judgment that you have, the fears that you have, and like trust that you can accomplish that, like that you have great power within you to reach everything that you're wanting to reach, and focus on how you can nurture that positive self-belief. Okay, that has been it, my group one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to skip ahead to the end of the podcast to listen to the journaling prompts to integrate everything. Okay, let's get started with our path 2. So this is your personal reading for the month of July. Let's see the messages that Spirit has for you. Okay, the first message that's coming through is that your hard work is going to pay off. So I feel like that for you guys this month there is some sort of resolution, some sort of achievement that's gonna show itself, whether that is in your personal life or your business. There's going to be something that's gonna pay off. So I feel like a lot of you have probably worked towards a certain outcome or a certain project for quite a long time, and now it is finally paying off. You're finally gonna see that hard work bear fruits, which I love so much for you. And then also communication is going to be key. So I feel like with everything that's gonna happen for you this month, it's always going to be very important for you to just express yourself, to communicate whatever you're feeling, to allow your voice to be heard, right? And maybe like also I feel like for some of you that might be speaking to like when this hard work is gonna pay off. Like don't like hide away, don't like be, you know, like get back into your cave, get back into your shell, like brush over it. Like no, like communicate it, like share it with the world, or even just with the people that you most want to share this with. Like share this and like celebrate it, and allow yourself to really communicate your excitement for finally having made it, basically. Okay, the star. So there's definitely lots of magic for you this month. So the star talks about a couple things. So first of all, it obviously talks about like dreams coming true and like more of this impossible things have become possible, and like we're reaching for the stars, and like there's so much magic, so much miracle that we didn't expect. And again, I feel like that is really like the energy of your month. But then the star can also sometimes talk about how we are too like delusional and like too far away from reality and from like too much in like a dream state. And I feel like for you this month, it's gonna be all about the balance, because sometimes I feel like when we have worked so hard for something, then like we tend to just step away and try to like, or like we feel this desire to just quit and like stop, because we feel like, okay, we've worked so hard, it should be here, we should have achieved this. And so we tend to like then fall into the opposite, where we're just being like present and like dreaming and like not really taking action. So know that your hard work is paying off, but it's not quite done yet, right? You still have to continue doing things, maybe not as hard as you should be, but or as you did, but there's still work to be done. And a lot of this work is going to be around communicating, right? Sharing. Maybe like for those of you who have like this is business related, like you gotta communicate your desire, communicate your offering, like put yourself out there so that the hard work can pay off that you've previously put into creating the offering and, you know, the content and everything, right? So communication is key. We've also got the Four of Pentacles. So this month you're gonna notice all the financial security and the foundation that you've been building over the years. Again, your hard work is paying off. You're gonna notice the abundance, you're gonna notice the security and the groundedness and the safety that you have been aiming towards. But also Spirit wants you to know that like to be aware of not falling into like a scarcity because of that. Is sometimes when we worked so hard for something and spend so much time like kind of waiting for it, anticipating it, then it's finally here, then we can get overprotective about it, and we can get into this mindset of like, okay, now I have to hold on to it so tightly because otherwise it's going to slip away. And I feel like that is kind of an energy that might show up for you, where you're just being invited to understand that you are so abundant, right? And the fact that this thing has manifested and you've achieved it and you've reached for the stars and it all worked out for you means that you can do it over and over again, and then you just have opened up a new like layer, a new level where you have to start regulating yourself towards and like find a way to feel abundant even when things keep moving forward. We also have the Two of Swords. So there is something though, and I feel like it is maybe tied to this like the scarcity energy, or like the trying to hold on too tightly, afraid of losing something energy. There's something that you cannot see at the moment. There's something that you close your eyes towards that makes you feel like you're kind of blindfolded. So you're like there's something hidden, there's something that you won't allow yourself to see. And I feel like it's very connected to also this collective energy of what we are moving through, where there's insecurities and like fears and things in a shadow that want to come up. And I feel like you currently like blind yourself, like you're ignoring them, you're pushing them out, you're suppressing them, and don't really allow that to be present. And because you're probably so focused on how like to kind of stay positive so that you attract only that which you want to attract. But know that the dark side and the light side can coexist. And again, you can feel incredibly abundant and be so incredibly grateful for your hard work paying off, while at the same time feeling scarce and feeling worried and feeling unsure about where you're gonna go next. And we have the Knight of Cups. So there's someone or something coming into your life this month that is going to make you feel like so in love and like so like these butterflies, and you know this feeling when we're like first have a crush and like everything is so exciting and we're like yeah, like we're not sure if we want this, but like it's just so exciting and we have this butterflies. That is kind of like someone's gonna come into your life that makes you feel this way, that brings a lot of chaos and whirlwind to your life, but in the best way. And you're gonna like also feel like a bit more lit up and a bit more, yeah, like this beautiful, nervous and like detached towards your life that we often have when we are first in love, or when we are like, you know, the people, most people refer to as like players, or like you know, the women or men who tend to hop from one person to the next person, and they really enjoy it. They like to flirt a lot and like to just be out there. I want you to think about that energy and having that energy towards your life, but in the best way. So you're gonna feel, it's hard to express what I'm seeing, but you're gonna just wake up and be like so excited, and you'd be like, okay, what can I do next? Like what calls my attention now? What do I feel inspired to do now? And what turns me on now? And who do I wanna, or what do I wanna flirt with now? And you're being encouraged to just lean into that a little bit, because it's going to bring more fun into your life, and it's going to help you to counteract these feelings of control that you might have coming up. And it's also going to help you communicate better how you're feeling. We also have Spirit of Earth, have faith, you are supported. So again, you know, you've been working so hard towards this, and it's easy to get to the point where we are like, when is it finally going to happen? Like, I feel like I need to be compensated for all of this. And just know that your hard work is paying off. You are supported. Like, have faith in this process, right? Have faith that you're gonna get to the stars eventually, that the hard work is paying off. You are so supported by the people around you, by the universe, by everything. The art of rituals. Practice rituals to re-enchant your life. Again, so this Knight of Cups energy, like find ways to bring this flirty, like beautiful, exciting energy into your life that is making you feel romantic, that's making you feel like so turned on and like so appreciated and valued, and that, because that's also going to help you so much with this need for accomplishment, because you're like, I've worked so hard for this, I need something in return. Like, give that to yourself, give whatever you need in return to yourself by ritualizing your life. And we have got Creative Fire. Reveal your creative talents for an inspired life. Yeah, get creative about, again, like the last stretch. So get creative about the ways in which you keep working towards reaching for the stars, working towards building this security and the abundance and the success that you're desiring. Get creative around this, but also get creative around the ways in which you bring more joy, more excitement, more new, fresh energy into your life. Okay, that being said, I love what July has in store for you. I feel like both in your personal life and in your business, there's going to be a lot of opportunities and miracles to manifest this month. Okay, make sure to jump into to the end of the episode for the journaling prompts. And we dive into path number 3. Let's see what the universe has to say about your month of July. Okay, we've got the full moon in Leo, which I love because we had in the collective energy the Leo come through as well. So it says, don't let pride get in the way. So obviously, I mean, I mainly talked about the positive sides of Leo, which obviously are the confidence and the like stepping into your power. Like I've mainly talked about the positive sides of Leo, which obviously are confidence, stepping into your power and all of that. But obviously Leo, as everything, has also its shadow sides. And so Spirit is telling you here that to be careful this month, to not let your pride get in the way. So whatever you're aiming for, whatever you're anticipating for your personal life or your business this month, don't let your pride, don't let your ego get in the way. Like don't hold on to things or try to push your way forward just because like you want to be right? This is not the point. This is not gonna get you forward. Like just get over it basically, and allow yourself to move forward with confidence and with trust and with faith that it's all going to work out the way it's supposed to be. We've also got time for healing. So I feel like that maybe there is things happening for you this month where your ego is really going to be tested, where you're gonna feel like you have to prove yourself or like in some way be right, and that's gonna trigger a lot of like beliefs or wounding experiences that demand healing. So whatever is going to happen that is triggering your need to be right, to protect your pride, to protect your ego, yourself, like know that this is just a defense mechanism from your unconscious. It's trying to protect you from something, and you're being invited to invite healing and new perspectives and compassion to this. So you're also like I see you in front of a decision, like you're contemplating something. Maybe you've got a dream, or you have like there's been an opportunity for you that you have been like trying to decide on whether to pursue, whether to go after it, and like a part of you is like very held back and is like, no, I don't want to go. And then another part of you is like, I wonder what would happen if I go. And Spirit says that don't let yourself be held back by these old patterns, by the stuff that you're afraid of. Like don't let the insecurities and the fears and the doubts hold you back from pursuing the path that you know your soul is calling you towards. Don't let your ego hold you back. Like don't stay where you are just because it's comfortable and it's safe to your ego and it makes you feel appreciated and valued and important in some way. And the other path, the more soul aligned path, is rather scary, and you're gonna offend people or like make them feel unpleasant. Go follow your gut instinct, like make the move, go out there, trust yourself. That is the message that's coming through. Also, I feel like there is some important person or connection coming through you this month, whether that is in your personal life. So if you've been manifesting like a friend or a partner or something like that, there is energy that this could come, but it could also indicate just a business partner or a really important connection that is going to help you move forward in your business. So if you meet someone this month that you feel like is getting you out of your comfort zone, but in the best way, that you feel like just so like this immediate connection, this like, okay, you are my person, like you're the person I've always been looking for this entire time for this specific purpose, whether that's, a romantic partner or like a business partner or a mentor or a client. Follow that instinct and like, we've also got the 9 of Cups. So I feel like this month, whatever you're doing is going to lead you to just feeling so full energetically. It's like all your cups are full and you're like, you've got so much to give and like so much inspiration, but also energy and like light. There's so much you have to give because you've done all this healing and because you finally chose to say yes to your soul path And because you've met this important person, you're now like bursting with all this energy and all this abundance of things to give. And my goodness, we've got the 10 of Cups, and both the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups, they're like such magical cards because they indicate that we are so in tune with our internal world, with our emotions, with ourselves, that we're like literally like filled with magic, and we're like, we have this like dream outcome where everything just feels so much better than we could have imagined, and we'll literally see rainbows and like sparkles and like butterflies and magic everywhere. And that is the state that you're gonna go get to once you have done this healing and once you have stepped into your soul path, made this decision that is needing to be made to go down that path and follow that calling. And what's also been coming through is that the importance of connections and the importance of like asking for help and trusting. I think, and I've said this in one of the recent episodes also, we underestimate the power of connection, and we underestimate the importance of joining forces to achieve our outcome. So I feel like that you're being reminded this month that collaboration, asking for help, letting other people help you and put their energy towards your desires also, is going to make this achievement and this journey, this process of creating this beautiful life so much happier, so much easier. And I feel like for some people, this is a sign that if you've been trying to heal something, if you've been trying to get over something or go down a certain path, it's time to ask for help. It's time to lean towards getting the support that you need so that this feels a bit easier on you. Okay, we've got the moon also. Lady Moon gives you the keys to mystery, the other feminine power. So yes, the moon is very, like, it is feminine. It's the female part. So the sun is the masculine and the moon is feminine. I think that we are all being invited, and you, like, especially since this is coming up here for you as well, you're being invited to lean more into your feminine energy and to lean more into the mystery and the magic. So like I said before, the moon has a lot of like magical sides to it too, and we can discover hidden secrets in the darkness, and you're being invited to really lean into the mysteries, into the hidden, the unseen, and like tap into that feminine power. And then we've got the spirit of water. Turn to the source of the feminine for purification. Okay, so again, there's lots of indication for you that whatever you're expecting, calling in during this month, you are being invited to dive deeper into your feminine, dive deeper into healing, into connection, into filling your own cups, and that's gonna then make you feel like you're so full, you've got so much to give, you've got all the courage, the confidence, the strength to follow that path, to take that leap. Okay, that was it with your reading. Let me know how, like, what resonated, what you're looking forward to the most this month. I love to hear. Send me a message on Instagram at tara.fisher. And let's dive into our journaling prompts to wrap this up. The first question, make sure to note these down because I'm going to go through them very quickly. So the first question that I want you to ask yourself is, what am I afraid of? What am I not admitting to myself? What do I want to release? Like, what is hidden in the shadows that needs to be brought to the light? The second question that I want you to note down and come back to is, what don't I allow myself to fully believe in, to fully trust, to fully imagine? What am I holding back on pursuing? Like, what am I not aiming for? And then the third and final question that I want you to note down and come back to is, what is my soul calling me to do? moving forward? Like, what would feel the most expansive, the most like exciting? What would turn me on the most? Like, what needs to shift in my life so that I feel lit up by my life again, or even more for those of you who already feel pretty lit up. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Make sure to check out the episode 89, which is titled Breathwork, Angels, and Unlocking Your Authentic Self, with Ali Levine. This is such a great episode. It's gonna dive deeper into how we can navigate, hardship and difficult times, which I think will be so useful in a month like this. And then also make sure to tune into the episode how to find the right support, like for those of you who are looking to have support in this time, which can be so beneficial. Tune into that episode to find out what type of support might be beneficial for you and how to find it, basically. Okay, thank you so much. Make sure to review, rate the show if you haven't done so, and share this, tag me, and tell me your biggest takeaway. I so appreciate your help, and I see you next time. Bye! Thank you for hanging out with me. It was a blast. If you're new here, then make sure to subscribe to the show to not miss any new episodes. And if you haven't done so, please feel free to give the show a 5-star rating. This means the absolute world to me, since it helps the show to grow and allows me to bring more incredible guests and episodes your way. With that being said, until next time,